most people outside of testing, until that information has been delivered to them, it enlightens them, notifies them, it influences them to do something, then really they haven't gotten the value that they paid for. And we'll see, you tend to see dissatisfaction, with test teams when this goes on. Let's see, got a couple more here. I'm not really very good with math or Excel. Is that a problem? Well, okay, so let me mention that those charts and graphs that you saw, all of those, were created using Excel spreadsheets that you can download off of our website. It's on either the basic library or the advanced library on the website. And by the way, the advanced library, which used to have a fee for use, now free. So you don't have to be an Excel guru to build those things. You can download them from our website, and they're there, and all you have to do is figure out how to use them. That said, you do need some amount of knowledge of math and Excel and so forth to do this kind of stuff. Part of the reason for this is that the commercial test management tools, no offense to those of you on the line who might work for them, they don't really provide a lot of good out-of-the-box charts and graphs, especially not the really good analytical ones. So the only way to backfill it for that is with Excel. And Excel, Excel is a good tool. I mean, I have my moments with Microsoft, to be sure, but I've done a lot of work with Excel, and it's done a lot of good work for me. But it's just like any analytical tool, it's subject to garbage in, garbage out. And this is where the math comes in. You have to be able to understand the limits of the data that you're feeding it. So if you're going to try to create all sorts of charts and graphs, you really have to think about, well, do I have sufficiently reliable data to do that and draw those conclusions? So you can reach bad conclusions if you misuse Excel. You pour a bunch of data in there, and you think you understand what it's saying, but mathematically, statistically, it's not as significant as you might think. So anyway, I do think as a test manager, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, this kind of analysis, you need to learn Excel, and you need, if you're weak on statistics, and weak on basic math, then you'll need to do a little brush up on that as well. I would assume that you can probably find some reasonably priced or even free online courses on statistics, say on the iTunes. There's iTunes University now, for example. So there's probably plenty of places where you can get a little quick brush up on stats if you need it. Okay, let's see. Another question from Rasha here. Risks estimation can be rational. Can you delay handling risk to the last moment when you get accurate data? Is there a way of mixing more within test strategies? Oh, pardon me. Is there a way of mixing more test strategies? Let's see. I think you mean risk estimations can be irrational, Rasha, and I would agree that they're imperfect and they're incomplete. But you don't want to wait until you've got all the information you need to do a risk analysis to do your risk-based testing, because at that point you're probably end of life of the product. So what I would say is, as you bring up, mixing other test strategies, and they're mixing things like reactive testing and things like exploratory testing and Whitaker's software tax technique and those sort of things. I'd say that helps kind of balance things out here. Let's see. Let me try to squeeze in a couple more questions here. We're running low on time. But I got a question from Jeff. Jeff says, by pass, do you mean test cycle? Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. You could define it that way. You can define the passes however you want. They're logical groupings of test cases that you're going to run in a particular order, and you're going to try to sort of batch stuff up and hold them independent. Another question from Jeff. When you talk about providing solutions to problems highlighted in bad news test reports, how would you handle situations where the only solution is improving the code? Testers are not usually code experts. The recommendations are written off by developers. That can happen, especially if the developers feel like you've ambushed them. I mean, if you go into the meeting and you deliver a report and you say, look, the solution is for those jerks across the table from me to do better work, not likely to be received warmly. So, I mean, I think it's important that if you're going to suggest some sort of across the project improvement to the kind of code that's being written and the kind of work that's being done, it's really important that you collaborate with your development colleagues before you present that. Go into the room ready to present that with them as well as you. Okay, so to close this session, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the various free resources available through RBCS. We run these webinar sessions about once a month, so please check our website to sign up. That's www.rbcs-us.com. If you want a special webinar presentation for your company only of this webinar or any other topic related to software testing, contact us at info@rbcs-us.com via email or via our website. Now, these recorded webinars are, as I've mentioned, out on the digital library, the new digital library of our website, where you can find podcasts and videos and these recorded webinars and just an ever-increasing grab bag of stuff, all available free. If you don't already receive our free newsletter, you can sign up again at www.rbcs-us.com. By signing up, you'll get valuable discounts on consulting and training services, along with a regular newsletter that includes a featured article on software testing and quality and news about what RBCS and its partners are doing lately. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/RBCS. Oh, God, excuse me. And on Facebook at facebook.com/pages/RBCS-INC. So that concludes this month's webinar. Again, the December webinar has been rescheduled, so for those of you who want to attend that, please look for the update to the registration time if you've already registered. For those of you who are registering now, then you'll find that the correct time comes up. This concludes the webinar. I'd like to thank everyone for joining. Next time in December, I will actually be broadcasting soon, or broadcasting live, excuse me, from a client site in Australia, mystery client site in Australia. So the next time you hear me, I'll be talking to you from the lovely Antipodes and with a live audience. So that's always fun. Always love doing those. And all of you enjoy your week, and for those of you in North America, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Thanks, and goodbye.